Absolute Radio.
Good morning, this is Frank Skinner.
Saturday morning!
Yes, it certainly is. And I'm with Emily and I'm with Gareth.
Hi.
Oh, I'm not sure about the hi.
Well, I was told I was too loud this week, so I'm just testing it out.
What by a technician?
No, by someone in a hotel, but that's another story.
Oh, okay.
Were they trying to get the council?
No,
to
they were trying to get to sleep next door. Hey? Do you see?
I see, yeah.
Oh, well, I feel I want to hear that story now, but we'll hear it after, maybe.
Okay.
I'm still reeling. I'm reeling.
Why are you reeling?
Well...
No time for fishing.
Yeah, the world's smallest... You know, I thought about a fish and I thought, no, because it's too early to muddy the water. But no. Yeah, the world's smallest man died this week.
What, Ping Ping?
He Ping Ping, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, he used to... I think he was named after one of those tennis playing machines used to get those...
Frank.
Yeah, He Ping Ping died. And I don't know if you're aware of He Ping Ping, but I've often, you know, like the world's tallest man who was around, I think he's from Eastern Europe or something, he was around quite a bit. Nothing likeable about him. Not the sort of bloke you'd think, oh, you know, I wouldn't mind going out with him one night, the world's tallest man. Whereas He Ping Ping had got a little jolliness about him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was lovely.
it'd be great company. You can imagine driving, you know, and him sitting on the dash, chatting to you about stuff as you went down the road.
Nodding his head. He was 29 inches, but...
Did you know him?
Apparently someone else has stepped forward already, saying that they're going to take his place as the world's shortest man.
Well, presumably this is what a man who was known until recently as the world's second shortest man. Is it him? I'm guessing it's him.
Well, he's 18 years old. He sounds like Miss World, doesn't he? He's 18 years old.
Yeah.
His name's Kagendra Tapa Magar. You're going to hear that name a lot. Get used to it. And he's from Nepal. And he's 20 inches.
And how tall was He Ping Ping?
He was 29 inches.
Okay, so he's
No, hold on.
9 inches shorter.
So hold on a minute. Shit, so He Ping Ping was not the world's shortest man.
Suggesting He Ping Ping was some sort of a fraud and Kagendra Tapa Magar was the rightful holder of the title.
Well, is it possible to have you know when people have those raised heels in their shoes, is there a reverse of that you can wear?
Like sort of a
to
small...
makes
hole.
you a lot shorter.
A trench.
Yeah, that's it. What he's done is he's been everywhere he goes in there the night before and digs a small trench. He Ping Ping turns out to be some sort of charlatan.
What I particularly like, Frank and Gareth, is that I was reading on this website where they were discussing the fact that he died and it was very sad, and someone had posted a comment about the death saying his face bears a striking resemblance to that of Michael Winner. Poor chap, one indignity heaped upon another. May his delightful and gentle soul rest in peace.
Well, I like the last bit. That's
At least he was nice at the end.
But if you're writing about the world's smallest man, you don't have to come up with a looky-likey joke, do you? I mean, you got the world's smallest man to be working with. How old is the... well, I'm calling him the new world's shortest man. But I like the way he claims to be 20 inches as well. Like,
Yeah.
is it worth sticking in a claim on the hope that they don't check? Maybe I could say, as it turns out, I'm the world's shortest man. What about that?
I'm shorter than you think. I'm just always very close to you.
Yeah, well, I'll just say I'm the world's shortest man, and when they say we need to check, then I'll say, oh, I'm really busy. I'm just going to have to take my word. Can you turn it down? If you're the world's shortest man, you're going to phone, you're the new world's shortest man. No, I don't want it. I don't want it, you know. I want to spend more time with my family.
No, what is this? Because we did. Yeah, there was a story about someone who didn't want to take on the. I can't remember if it was the world's tallest man.
Oh, it was the tallest man.
Maybe I should do some research.
Is this a Gareth date? I think it's a Gareth date.
That way.
There's something in my memory, something from the past.
Yes, I find that with memory.
Yeah.
Often it tends to be retrospective rather than looking forward.
So, I mean, good luck to Kagendra Tapa Magar, 18, of Nepal.
Oh, he's 18, he hasn't finished growing yet.
Well, that's why it is then. We've worked it out.
Could have a growth spurt at any minute. I was only 10 inches tall till I was 14.
Is that right?
Yeah, then just...
And how tall?
When puberty kicked in.
Yeah. So now you're what? About 6 foot?
Yeah,
Wow, that must have been a hell of a spout.
it was.
Oh, God, your mum must have been buying a blazer every day.
She got me elasticated trousers that
Oh, they sound nice.
clipped to my shoes with just a hook.
You didn't wear elasticated trousers. I bet you did.
You need a sort of a
I was growing so quickly.
spandex school uniform that you could just expand. Well, I'd like to have been in your house when you were on the up, as it were. That must have been exciting times indeed. Well, anyway, if any of... obviously, our thoughts are with his family.
Frank, He Ping Ping's relatives aren't listening.
No, but my thoughts with his family in the terms of how tall are they? No, whenever people say my thoughts with his family, which you hear a lot said,
You
I
do.
always think it sounds like the most insincere thing you could say about anything. So I'm going to be... my thoughts are not with his family. I have no care for He Ping Ping's family. My thoughts are with him.
May his delightful and gentle soul rest in peace.
Yes, I hope he's ascending to heaven as we speak. And let's face it, it's let's hope it's not stairs.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in about He Ping... Now, I like that. That's very
Well,
professional.
everyone's going to go out and buy it, aren't they? But everyone's got it who could possibly want it by now.
Listen, we've had a text in about He Ping Ping.
Ah.
Frank, He Ping Ping was the shortest man, as you cannot hold the title until being 18, and Kagendra has only just turned 18, and that's from David from Bracknell.
Well, thank you, David. That's amazing. That makes sense, I guess, that you can't hold it until you... Because
Yeah.
you could, a 3-year-old could say, I'm the world's shortest man. That would make... Well, yes. But I see, when I was a kid, we were always told that you didn't stop growing until you were 21.
Okay.
And now people say 18. Now, I can see how that happened with, like, the drinking age went down, but the growing age... It's like the government have said, oh, it's going to be 18 now.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a move to make it that you stop growing at 16? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, thank you very much for sending in that text. We're on 8, 12, 15 if you want to text us about absolutely anything at all. But
Well,
that's brilliant. I love it when they join in.
It's funny you should say that, because we've had another text that I'd like to read out, which it was from Ken Kirkham, and he says...
I'm liking him.
I like his name already.
I'm liking Ken Kirkham.
Ken Kirkham says, "Hey Frank, great show, but please sort out that bin behind you." He's looking on the webcam.
Oh, he's on the
Ken
web.
Kirkham.
I didn't think anyone looked at me or Gareth on
Ken
the webcam.
Kirkham does.
Yeah. Ken, this is actually, Ken, that's actually Metal Mickey has been beheaded. Now, anyone who's not watching on the webcam, just trust me that was funny. I'm going to do it now, Ken. Are you watching?
Ken. There we are.
You see, I did it quite noisily so that people who are just listening to
like
it on radio, then they still get a sense of being part of the whole
I reckon that was a Sony award-winning moment.
I think it was as well.
Yeah.
When are the Sony Awards?
I don't
forgotten
know.
about that.
Will we get one?
Oh, God, if we don't get at least 3, I'm going to smash the studio. What's better than this? You ever listen to other stations? Absolutely rubbish. They are. I'm embarrassed by other radio stations. I actually text them up and say, close down. For all our sakes. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I might get to sit next to Tony Hadley again.
I'm not going to be one of these people that, I say, oh, no, I don't suppose we're pretty... No, I'm dead set that we... How many are we up for? Do you know, Emma?
3 or 4?
3 or 4.
Oh, that'll do us.
I think the producer doesn't know how many awards we're up for. But I'll settle for 3.
Yeah.
Is it like the Oscars, though, when you're supposed to, lobby and try and get, ingratiate yourself with the industry, because you've just said you hate all other radio?
I didn't say I hated them. I didn't say I hated them. I said they were rubbish.
Oh, all right.
I sympathise with them.
You've got pity.
Yeah. It's like, when you see the very poor and homeless on the streets, you don't hate them, but you don't think, oh, brilliant, I wish I was like that. Anyway, that's enough of this. That was a good... we get a lot of camcorder... Not camcorder, what's it called? Webcam things.
The webcam.
But they're all about, oh, you're looking good today, Emily. I don't like it.
No, but that's why you start pointing it at the bin instead of me.
And no one noticed. That's why I don't get. I'll tell you something I did this week. I did a kind of a performance of a musical, right?
Oh, great.
What was it?
Well, some of you may know that Dave Gorman has a radio show on this channel, on this station, rather. Sorry, slipped back into the days I used to be on television. Anyway, so, yeah.
Wasn't that up until you said that you thought all other TV was rubbish?
Yes, I think I did so. But, so Dave has got, he works with Danielle and Martin on that show, and Danielle and Martin have written a musical.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Yes. So look to yourselves. Eh?
But what? I don't understand where
How
you
does
come
that
into
happen?
this.
How does he get Rodgers and Hammerstein and I get the Chuckle Brothers? Who dealt that hand? So anyway, I went along
What do you mean you went along?
Well, I'm in it.
You're in
in
their
it?
musical, but they're not on our show.
I don't have to be...
That's a different show.
They're friend stealers.
It's not a radio musical.
Yeah, I don't care, but they're sniffing around our host. How would they like it if I started sniffing around their host? I bet they wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
What if I put Dave Gorman in a magazine spread doing like a swimwear shoot or something? How would they like them apples?
Dear God.
As long as he can combine it with a cardigan, I think that would work for Dave. Well,
You've been seeing other co-presenters.
Yeah.
That's what you've been doing.
I'm quite jealous.
well, look,
I feel like Cheryl Cole.
you'll... Actually, you look like Cheryl Cole as well this morning. I was going to mention that earlier. So, what am I doing now? I'm pressing the adverts. I'm sorry. having slagged off all the radio stations, I've now said, what am I doing now? I'm pressing the adverts. Which, to me, spoils the whole mystery of it.
Absolute Radio.
So this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, with Gareth. You can text us on 81215. That's all you need to know for the moment. I was just... Those of you who were with us before we went into the adverts will remember that I was talking about the fact that I went up to this... I suppose it was a kind of... it was a public reading of the musical.
So you hadn't learned the lines, though?
No, I hadn't learnt the lines. I had to do... I only had a song to do.
Okay.
Right.
You had to sing.
Oh, it's a musical.
Oh.
That was the clue, you see.
Yeah, but sometimes they get like Rex Harrison who can't sing. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying.
I've grown
Or Marlon
accustomed
Brando.
to her face, like breathing out and breathing in. Yes, they do get Rex Harrison, but he's dead.
Okay.
That's him and the smallest man. Oh, dear. Who's alive anymore?
More dead people later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Rex Harrison wasn't it, but I got up anyway. So it was in a place called the Albany in Great Portland Street, which is in London, which is a large conurbation in the southeast of England. And there was a very talented cast. I mean, I was watching them before my bit, and they were really good. Good singers, harmonies, great jokes. I mean, I was...
Oh, you've been having a great time with these new friends.
Yeah. And
Sorry you stuck with the Chuckle Brothers.
Well, just to make you feel a little bit better, I went up and I got the words wrong. I sang through the instrumental break. Oh. So I started the next thing, and it was a completely different instrumental break. And it was one of those when I looked at the pianist, and he looked like a man he knew the plane was going down. And I was singing it. It was like a duet. So I was with this woman called Liz. We just had one rehearsal on the
Who's
stairs.
Liz?
Anyway, and it was... Oh, man, it went so wrong. So the music was playing, and there was a bit where I turned to Danielle, who was standing at the side of the stage, and said, sorry, in the middle of the song. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then to try and save it, I ad-libbed a gag at the end, which did get a big laugh. But I realised it was very similar to a gag that was later in the script that I hadn't read, so it killed that gag later on. So I was not only doing damage, I was putting damage in storage to be done later. It was... I can't tell you how I felt after. I stepped off the stage and there was no applause or anything. People were in shock. And I stood there and everyone was, I couldn't escape. And I could feel waves going up and down me of horror, right? Because it was public humiliation.
A sort of embarrassment to be there.
And then I thought, I'd seen a documentary recently in which a man... do you know what a bullet ant is?
No.
I think it's the most poisonous ant in the world. It's called a bullet ant because when it bites you, it's like you've been shot by a bullet. And this bloke put his hands in these gloves, which had been woven with these bullet ants. So he had about 300 bites on his hands, just to see what the pain would be like. and feeling that it would be so intense it would somehow purify him. And that's what it was like. That's what the evening was like.
Oh, Frank.
I felt that I'd been cleansed by my own humiliation. It was so bad that it took all the dirty bits out of my bloodstream. So there you go. That's
Well, I'm pleased you didn't enjoy it.
yeah, I know you are.
If you stray away from me and Gareth, this is what will happen.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to not enjoy it that much. It was.
Well, listen, we've had some advice, though, on how to get a Sony Award.
Oh, okay.
This is from Steve at the Village Bakery in Birchington.
Oh, sorry, I'm still recoiling from remembering that night.
He says, Frank, to make sure you get a Sony Award, make sure there's a Ray Montblanc tale each week. There's Radio Gold.
Well,
I hope there's no irony in that.
no, I shouldn't think so. In case you don't know, Gareth is big mates with Ray Montblanc.
He's not mates. He went into a tea shop once where he works and saw him once and has strung out about 9 anecdotes out of this.
Yeah, but you did speak to him, didn't you?
Yeah, he came over.
Hold it.
Yeah, he came over and said, "Oh, you have a little one," pointing to Ethan, and he says, "Oh,
That's
no."
rather rude.
My God. I was going to say, he's very... What is he? Psychic?
Heaping was there.
Oh, right. He was just lounging in an eclair.
He was making a sort of bed out of it.
Yeah.
Sort of an isolation chamber for
It's a
himself.
duvet. So anyway...
Did he zip up? Did he get inside and then zip up the eclair from the inside? So go on, what did Raymond say? Hold it, here comes Raymond. After he'd said you have a little one.
And he came and said, "Oh, you have a little one? What, he's not having souffle or ice cream?" And I said, "No, he's a bit young for that."
Souffle! Cheese souffle!
Another, ladies and gentlemen, another Raymond Blanc. Really, that trip to the tea shop really was the gift that kept on giving, wasn't it? Oh, I'm loving it so much. Oh, Blanc. Oh, Blanc. Oh, better have some music. I should have... that would have been the ideal point to go to the music. I couldn't find the button.
That's not going to win us a Sony.
No. Story
sort
of
of behaviour.
my life.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Dear Frank, it's from Steve Bourne, and he's from Moscow.
A night in old Moscow.
Hello, Frank. I don't know if you've ever been to Moscow, but each week you kind of get to travel via the podcast from near the Bolshoi, up past some beautiful gardens, across the nightmare ring road, and to one of the regions of the city most tourists don't reach, mostly because it's a bit like Solihull. But anyway, all of the way to work here in this quite different city, you're great company, so I wanted to say thanks and cheers on the first year of the show to you, Gareth and Emily.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Oh.
So we travel... he listens to us on the podcast, so we travel around Moscow.
Saying, yes.
I understand. He takes us up the Bolshoi. Yes. Well, that's lovely. I like the idea of being in all those cornfields and ballet in the evening.
Being in his little rucksack, a bit like keeping Ping.
It is, yeah. Leave it now with keeping Ping. Have some respect. Yeah, well, that's... I'm glad you brought that up, because the midweek podcast, as we call it, a lot of people have said to me, I'm talking 3, have said, "Oh, the midweek podcast..." No, I haven't listened to that, because that's like the greatest hits of the Saturday podcast, isn't it? But it isn't, you see. It's completely different.
They think it's just the best bits.
Yeah, but it's completely different.
Not, is it?
But it's because what's it called? It's called the MIDI...
You never know what it's called. You always just make it up on the spot.
Yeah.
The mini midweek podcast or something.
Yeah. See, it needs to say, because it's got mini in it, it suggests that it's a shrunken version of the large one.
Yeah.
So what we need, I think, is a new name for the midweek podcast to suggest that it's...
That communicates it's like original...
different material. Well, I don't know about original. There might be a couple of old vaudeville routines in there.
We basically want you to do the work that the producer should be doing.
Yeah.
If we're honest.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush.
But people like to feel part of things. That's what we're banking on.
Yeah.
And then you can come to the Sonys with us if you get the right... if we choose your thing. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? You can... Because there's only 3 of us, so you can get the 4th one. You can go for the 4th one on your own.
And you might get to sit next to Tony Hadley like we did.
Yeah, well, you didn't
There were a lot of
you didn't sit next to Tony Hadley. You sat amongst him.
Yeah, you can sit on Tony Hadley's other knee to Emily.
Yes, it was. She did get over familiar. So anyway, so it's if it was called, for example, like when I was a kid, there used to be a weekly drama series called The Wednesday Play.
Right.
You see,
On the wireless.
on the telly,
Oh.
black and white. Our dog was who I watched it with. So if it was called The Wednesday Play, that would suggest that it was you could get it on Wednesdays, but also we were at play. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
It's not very
People
good.
might- I've got an
I'm not
idea.
that happy with it.
My one's not great either. I've got.
Oh, sell it, why don't you?
It's called. We got Wednesday. We got podcast. We got Ping On.
Yes, it's long
It's a bit
and
long,
it relies
isn't
on an in joke.
it? Yeah. Well,
everyone
my
might.
other one is the Too Hot for Lamb podcast, which is quite an old in joke.
Yeah.
Going back in that lamb's off.
So a
by now.
nostalgic in other words, we can't think of a name. But if you what we can give a prize of some kind, Emma? What can we give? 80 quid. Oh, okay.
80 quid?
Well, I always think that when you don't want a T-shirt, you want 80 quid. That's what I call a prize.
What can we could give them some of the stationery. We could give them a
What
mug.
about all the change in our pockets
What about?
when it's read out?
I've just got my little dibber thing that gets you into the
What,
Absolute Studio.
Hold on a minute, I think. I see you've got a little one. Let me do that again. I see you've got a little one.
Why-
Petit.
Why is your child not drinking wine? What is wrong with you?
Yes, with a no moustache.
Maybe he would like some cognac.
Give it a cigarette, for God's sake.
Yeah, you've got your little dibber.
Well, maybe we could just give them that, and then they can get in and out of Absolute whenever they want. That'd be a good.
That's a great idea.
Good luck getting past the security guard. He won't let us in.
I'm up for that. So the prize is 24-hour access to the Absolute Studios.
Absolute
Radio.
We've had some suggestions in, Frank, on 81215. Some suggestions for the name of our midweek podcast.
Yeah,
Neil
go
from
on.
Barking has said, hi, all, why not rename the midweek podcast Frank Skinner's Bit in the Middle? I like it.
I like that because there's a sense of sauciness as well to it.
Yeah, we've got from Jerry. We've got. How about something like the?
Oh, I don't know what's happened to your throat.
I don't, sorry,
Gone a bit Michael Winner.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
that's better.
God,
How
I
about
thought I was getting the world's smallest man through a familiar. Go on.
how about something like? I have got a little one, but I'm not the world's smallest man. I don't think.
No, I don't think. There's only
how-
one man who knows, of course. Well, it's a matter of opinion, of course, but if you ask them...
How about something like the programme Not the 9 o'clock news and call it Not the Weekend Pod Show? So that's from Jerry. So Not the Weekend Podcast.
That's from who? Say the name if they bother
From
to read.
Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think that's good, not the week, because that makes it clear that it's not the same thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
By saying not, by using the word not.
Yeah, and
Why didn't we think of that?
Wendy's along the same line. She says, "How about the I'm completely different from the other podcast?"
Would we get that on the label?
No, there's no
long,
room
isn't
for
How
that.
many characters are we allowed, Emma?
30?
30 characters. We better brush up on our
Really?
impressions.
Yeah.
10 each.
I'll start off with the slightly curmudgeonly old caretaker. Hey, what you lot doing here? Want to move on out? Get out there, you know, in, don't you? That's one
and I'll be
character.
David Mitchell. Now, why are you doing that? And all of a sudden,
That's
the
two.
caretaker character.
Okay, it could be a very long show if we try and do 30 in this link. So let's leave that there. Okay, well, that's great. And remember, the winner gets a T-shirt. So,
I thought they got 80 quid.
yeah, well, they were going to get complete 24-hour access to
Oh,
Absolute,
yes.
but we've been told we can't give that for some reason. Sniffy they are at times.
Now, Frank and Gareth, you might notice I'm looking rather buff. Hello.
Yeah, you're looking smashing.
It might notice
Yeah.
something.
Do you know why that is?
Is it because...
Trick of the light.
Yeah. Is it because I've
Mirrors.
gone minus 225 today instead of minus 250? So I've got both, because I went up to 250.
All right.
And
How
sometimes I
dare
take it from the
you?
wrong box, I get a slight blurring. Go on.
Do you want to know?
You look nice. You
Yeah,
look
I know I
nice.
do. I've gone and got myself a personal trainer. Oh.
Personal trainer.
Yeah. and he's very handsome, I have to say. That's not the only reason I went to him, but it was a motivating factor.
Mr. Motivator. Is that who it is? Oh, I had a terrible
Giving it
incident.
away.
I had a terrible incident with Mr. Motivator.
What happened?
Oh, man. You know, one of those when you say things and then you just want to...
What did you say?
Oh, you want to... I'll tell you what you want to do. You know that bit of skin that keeps your tongue connected to the bottom of your mouth? That's
You want to chop it off?
Yeah, you want to get your fingernails and that and rip straight through it.
Oh, that's
what I
nice.
felt. That's what I felt.
What
like.
happened with Mr. Motivator?
I said, are you still going out with Vanessa Feltz?
He never went out with Vanessa Feltz.
Yeah, well, that was part of the problem. And he said, no, that was another black personal trainer. And I thought, oh, no.
Well, if someone...
Motivator, I thought, I'll let you down.
Anyway, so how come you've
man.
got a personal trainer, Emily?
Well, I just decided, I have to accept now, my demographic is the younger man. I'm sorry, I'm not having any joy with these oldies, but when you're going to go for the younger man, you got to get in shape. The oldies are lucky if you turn up, frankly. I'm sorry, you get what you're given. But your younger man, you got to be toned. You got to be looking good. You need buns of steel.
So you're toning yourself up for the lechy students.
Yeah, for the young lechy
10
men.
times.
Oh, what a sad reason. It's not about health.
It's nothing. I said to myself, I don't want to pump up my heart rate. I don't want to waste time doing that. I want to get buns of steel.
No cardiovascular.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
He's
so-
great though. He's called Brown, and he's got. I'm not the only celebrity. I'm a celebrity
Is
now.
he a Scotsman?
No.
Okay.
He's got another celebrity
Suit,
client.
tie,
Do you want to
one
know the
eye.
other?
Gapey mouth.
Yeah.
No, he's very good looking. Do you want to know the other celebrity client?
Oh, he's got...
Yeah, I'm not the only
When you
one.
say the other celebrity client...
Deal with it, Frank. I'm a celebrity now.
Okay.
It is Ivor Badil.
David Baddiel's fat brother.
Yes. Don't
Well,
say that.
that's a great advert for this guy, Brown. You sure he's not called Brownies? Brownies?
I was really chuffed that
Ivor
Ivor was there as well.
Baddiel?
Yeah.
Let me say, he's a lovely chap and a very talented comedy writer. But you don't look at him and think, well, he's lithe. No, you think at him, you look at him and think, is that David Baddiel with a stocking over his head?
I think Ivor and I will be great adverts for Brown.
I am surprised that Ivor wastes time with such fripperies. And secondly, I'm surprised that...
You won't be saying that when I get my 19-year-old?
But who wants a 19-year-old, for goodness sake?
I do.
No, don't they all have nits? I imagine they have nits at that age.
Osley Lee has texted in saying he's a younger man. Well, if everyone who's younger than Emily texts in, we're going to be here all day. So
What's he called?
Lee.
Ozzy Lee.
Ozzy Lee, not Rusty Lee.
Okay.
Is that what you were thinking?
No, I wasn't thinking for a second that Rusty Lee had texted in saying that she'd like to go out with Emily, but it's an image I shall cradle in my thoughts.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
I've got crumbs on the, whatever you call these things that I have to move about. This is
knobs.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily, I'm with Gareth.
We've had a text message on 81215. Emily, how could you dismiss all us older guys? At least we know what we're doing rather than a fumbling youth.
Well, you speak for yourself, mate. I'm stuck with fumbling. I thought, stick with what you know. That's what I thought.
It's a good look on you.
If you're looking for a partner who's always ready to agree, why not just get a spaniel puppy? That's Rob, 97.
Well, you say that. I
Rob.
find them quite surly, the spaniel. The Springer's all right. The King Charles.
It's hard to make
Can I
it
just
work
say,
for a
Rob,
spaniel.
I'm not dismissing all older guys. I'll tell you what I can get, love. I won't lie to you. Let's be honest about this. Let's not beat around the bush.
Why the emphasis as well on the physical all the time with people? It's always people say I've got a personal trainer. You know, it's going to be some bloke with like a great six-pack, and he's
Yeah.
going to be working them and getting them all fit and stuff.
Which he does.
But why is that the emphasis? Why not say I've got a personal trainer? We're going to see Measure for Measure on Tuesday night. He's going to explain some of the themes of the play, and then we're going to get to. He's going to talk about Mozart. He's going to tell me about that, and we're going to do some stuff and that.
He's
and
going to tell me why people find me so irritating.
but expand your brain. Get a personal trainer for your brain. That's what I think.
I don't think
I don't need one of those.
I don't think our lecturers can cope with you getting any hotter, Emily. I think people.
love it.
I can't tell if she's attractive. I'm a
By the way,
married man, but
Graham Fellows is coming on the show soon. Graham Fellows.
I really
who is-
like him.
who is- in case you don't know, he's John Shuttleworth, who is in our house a comedy legend, might I tell you, and in a lot of other people's houses as well. So I'm
I've
very
seen his
excited about
DVD. I was sampling his wares late last night. Had a little look
it. Okay.
at the DVD.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. What is, it's got a bit carry on
I
this
know.
morning. Everything that's sort of. Don't want any of that nonsense.
I'll ask the matron why that's happening.
There was a. Did you see that kid in the paper who got a letter from the school? Well, he didn't get a letter. His parents got
Parents
a
got a
letter.
letter from the NHS saying he was clinically obese,
Yeah.
and he was 4 stone 2 pounds. When
Is
he
that
got
clinically obese?
Well, he was 5 years
5
old.
years old.
So you know.
Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know how heavy is a 5-year-old supposed to be.
He's 3 foot 10 inches, so I don't think
Wow,
it's.
God, imagine him and he ping and tower above him like a mighty.
I mean, I've seen a
Cyclops.
picture of him. He's not going to get any gigs doing spring summer catwalk modelling. However,
Oh God, this is a child. We might be listening for all we know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
he's not-
describe him as
not
obese.
I
exactly-
suppose he
yeah.
can't hear us over the munching in his ears. Yeah, I don't know if that's obese or not. But is it supposed to be? If he was obese, I think it's all right to write to the parents.
Yeah, the parents are flipping out. They're saying, we've got this letter saying he's obese. The government shouldn't send children letters saying they're obese. And I don't think it was to him, and I don't think they should... They're saying they shouldn't label him as obese. They probably shouldn't show him the letter.
No, don't show him the letter.
Don't show him.
Just reduce his rations. He's actually been labelled as obese at the school.
Yes. No,
Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Oh.
That was just mischievous boys. They just stuck that on his back. That won't be an official thing.
The NHS sent us a letter scrawled in crayon saying he was a poo-poo head and a big fatty bum. Now that is out of order.
And I mean, the drawing of him, he doesn't look anything like a triangle.
And the sky isn't a little blue line at the top of a page.
Yes, it's this kind of thing. There's political correctness gone. Yes. Well, I don't know. There's been one or two. There was a woman in the paper this week who she had been 27 stone. She was
Right.
and she lost 16 stone, which is really quite an achievement. And
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
That's 2 of me.
yeah, but not only that, but she, at the end of it,
That's
she
four
was
of this little boy.
she was at the end of it.
She lost 4 little boys.
Oh. At the end of it, she was 3 inches shorter as well.
Really?
Wow.
How can that be?
Well, that suggests to me that she must have had very fat soles.
Her
right.
feet must have been like yeast in a cake tin.
Yeah, like fat soles and like a very fat upper, just above the skull. You know that bit of just between the skull and the hair. That must have been
A
quite
very
chubby.
padded scalp.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So as the weight's gone down, she's settled.
Maybe it's a bit like being inflated, like it really kind of pushes you to your limits. You know, like all her spine was all... like maybe being fat is very good for your posture.
I'm gonna have to put a record. I'm gonna have to put a record on. No good.
Absolute.
Radio.
Graham Fellows has entered the studio. Morning, Graham.
Morning, Frank.
Why? What's happened?
What?
And Graham has brought his mate Kevin as well. Hello, Kevin.
How you doing?
Okay, right.
Kevin's in the corner.
Kevin.
I didn't want him in here, but you allowed him.
Well, I did. He was looking through the window like a child outside some sort of posh shop in Piccadilly.
Yeah.
An urchin looking in, and I thought, no, let's share.
Well,
He's your
I don't
mate,
mind.
isn't he?
It's probably better he's in the corner, in the periphery of my vision, than rather right behind me,
Yeah, exactly.
boring into the back of my skull.
But he is with you. He didn't just run in quickly when you came through the door downstairs.
No, he's the reason I'm here, because he saw a bus and he said, let's jump on that bus. Because he's a Londoner, he knows his way around.
Okay.
I live in
marvellous.
Lincolnshire.
Good. I was there recently.
No.
Yeah. There's that. Have you seen that show, The Bubble, on TV? The idea is they lock people away for 3 weeks and then they ask them questions about the news that they've been separated from. And that's where they put us. They put us in a big house in Lincolnshire.
Can you remember the town?
It was desolate there, nothing. The idea is that we were kept away from everything. So we weren't even told the name of the town, lest it should be, in some ways, considered to be news.
Right. Did you go mad?
No, I liked it.
Yeah. Well, I like it up there.
Is it? I mean, is it? Do you live that kind of quiet country walks type of life? Take the spaniel out.
Yeah, chocolate lab.
Oh, okay.
But I actually live in a part of Lincolnshire that most people wouldn't recognise because it's hilly.
Okay.
You know, Lincolnshire's renowned for being flat.
Is it?
Were you in a flat bit?
It was. Yeah, it was quite flat. Now you come to mention it.
But now I live on the edge of the Lincolnshire Wolds,
Oh, okay.
near Barbara Dixon.
She's up there.
Mm.
Do you hear her singing ever?
I have done.
Oh, lovely. I'd love to walk past Barbara Dixon's cottage and there's a window open.
Yeah, well, I'll give you my contact details and you can...
We can hang around.
Yeah, come up.
I could go up there. I've never really been outside of London. I have, like, once or twice.
Okay. So this takes us very neatly onto Southern Softies, which is your new DVD, Graham.
Well, it is. It's kind of mine and it's kind of John Shuttleworth's.
Yes. We should establish that you are also John Shuttleworth, who is, mate, I think I can say this, because it's in a way it's not you. He's an incredibly, incredibly funny act, and it's a man who plays a small organ and does songs and basically talks about his life. And it's brilliant.
Well, all thanks
you
to
like
you, Frank, because you gave me my TV break.
Did he?
I think you got your debut, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Or rather, John did.
Yes.
On something that... Are you allowed to say the programme?
Oh, God.
Packing them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me a big build-up, and I came on, and it went down very well, and I didn't
It went
go on the
great.
TV for about 3 years after that.
Yeah, the show didn't do that well, but you can't blame me for that.
No, it's a good show.
I was holding on by my fingertips myself. Well, I'm glad. I'm proud to have done that, because, like I say, I think it's a brilliant act.
I know what happened to Jenny Eclair. She's doing well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a grumpy old woman.
Yeah.
She was then, if I remember rightly. They
was a bit.
just hadn't formalised it into a concept. So, can you tell us a bit about what Southern Softies is about?
Well, I did a film called It's Nice Up North, where, which was set in the Shetland Isles. And it basically, as John, I went further and further north to see if people get nicer the further north you travel. And on the whole, you do. I mean, they do. But the theory is scotched by the fact that the nicest person John meets is from Devon.
Right.
So,
But have they
which
been
is the south, isn't
But
it?
have they been living up north a long time and got kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, they've gone native.
That's right. So I thought I'd make an answer film to that, which is Southern Softies, and that's set in the Channel Islands, and to see if people get softer the further south you go. Whether they do or not, I can't tell you, Frank, because people will have to watch the film.
And do you measure... But can you at least tell us what criterion you use for measuring their softness? That you're not challenging them to fist fights.
You've hit the nail on the head. How do you define softness? We didn't really know, and nobody that we spoke to knew. So nothing really happens. There's a lot of confused exchanges. And that's the film.
Okay. But it's funny as well.
Well, I hope so, yeah.
I loved it. I watched it last night, and I loved it. I thought you were going to be being mean about Londoners, but you weren't at all.
No, because as Frank will testify, I hope, the nature of John Shuttleworth's comedy is not to be nasty.
No, it's very
indeed.
gentle.
It is gentle. I hope that he's always the ultimate victim.
Yeah.
And he leaves people sort of bemused rather than humiliated.
Yes, I think that's a fair summary. I think that could be a good cue for the advert.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So we were just talking about Southern Softies, which is your DVD, which I have to own up I haven't seen. But
I saw it.
But our roving reporter, Emily, has seen it.
Yeah, and I loved all the characters you met. There was an amazing guy, wasn't there, who owned... There was some sort of weird little nightclub and you performed and he got a bit cross, didn't he?
Yeah, and this was one of the advantages of being a very low-budget, no-budget film, because we had no clout whatsoever, and it was the only gig in Jersey we could get. And
It was like an old people's home or something.
No, it's a nightclub in St.
Oh, sorry, it looked like an old people's home to me.
Nightclubs in Jersey do tend to look like that.
But he wasn't very keen for us to come, but we couldn't get anywhere else, so... I had a couple of phone conversations beforehand, and he was saying, well, I'm not sure about this. I know my audience, they just want to hear sort of rock and roll. And I said, look, trust me, it'll be fine. So he was antagonistic from the word go. So, the odds were stacked against us. He gave me a really bad intro. He said, "This is John Shuttleworth. What he's going to do, I have no idea."
I love that.
And so the audience were against John from the word go, and as you'll testify, it went round really badly, didn't it? But
it was great to watch. I'm sorry.
It felt bad at the time, but watching back, we realised that we had the right dynamic, because if it had gone well, then it'd been rubbish.
Well, this could like rejuvenate the whole comedy DVD thing, because they always do gigs that are going really well. Do you think it adds stuff to it if it's going?
Well, yeah, I mean, because a lot of my early gigs and some of them now just went down really badly. But they had good moments. But they have that sort of edginess. You've had a few of them, haven't you, Frank?
Oh, God, yeah, many. I mean, as you say, in the early days, there was one after the next. It was a domino effect. I'd love to watch them back now, properly shot and well lit, so you can see every wince.
Capturing the atmosphere.
Except, I would say that your humour is more obvious in the sense that you are trying to elicit a laugh, whereas with John Shuttleworth being a character, he's just talking about his life, and I can never let on to the laughter. You see what I mean? He's talking about serious things in his life. People are laughing. You can't say, "Oh, thank you very much for that laugh." No,
but you get an extra treat with My Bad Gig, because you get that silence when you heard the rhythm, you hear the punchline, and then there's that void.
Yeah.
And then I begin again. And I think that would have a fabulous accumulative effect and be painful and beautiful.
But I always used to content myself with the fact if I had a bad gig or there wasn't any laughter, I used to think, well, that means that I've convinced people that was a real person. If people
it's a triumph.
Out, people used to walk out and demand the money back from the box office. That guy can't sing. I want my money back. So I thought, yes.
Well, that's true. I said, but that guy, I suppose those people, they were convinced you were a real person. Yeah. See, I didn't have that as a fallback position. They were convinced I was a real person who wasn't funny, which is a slightly different position.
They thought you were real.
Yes, I am real. As real as any of us are.
Well, I've read your autobiography, and I know that you're real. Learned a few things about you.
Well, now you've pulled a fast one on me. You've pulled the carpet from under me, as it were. Or is it a rod?
You didn't sound very happy in the past, at times.
I think
this has all gone a bit on the couch. What's going on?
No, because I always thought you were a really happy-go-lucky guy, and there was a few moments in there I thought, it's a bit sad.
I think the death of my parents, I was a bit sad. You can only take happy-go-lucky so far. You have to have gaps for decency.
Yeah. Okay.
But generally speaking, I think I'm pretty up. What about yourself?
I've had terrible times.
Oh, no.
Yeah, going through one at the moment.
Are you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just relationship stuff.
Oh.
Well, I nearly moved to Shetland a couple of years ago. I had a bit of a breakdown and then decided not to. Luckily, but now I've bought an old church in Orkney.
Oh, well, things are looking up.
Which is not quite as far.
No, but that'll cheer you up.
But I'm going to make a recording studio up there, eco-friendly, and you can have the friends and family rate if you want, Frank.
Thank God, I've never been up there actually. I can't even imagine what it's like in Orkney.
Windy.
Okay.
What's it called? Orkney.
Yeah. You must have at least heard of it, surely.
Yeah, I think so.
So you've got to go to Lincolnshire and then you've got to go up to Orkney.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's on the same bus route.
Absolute Radio.
Marianne has texted in on 81215 and said, my budgie, Monty, great name for a budgie, absolutely went mental for how I wrote Elastic Man by The Fall. Any chance of playing it again?
Well, I don't think we're allowed. I'd love to play it again, but I don't think we're allowed. But I'll send a little personal message for Monty if he's listening. Okay? Here we go. I hope he laughed at that. If he didn't laugh, well...
How desperate are you for fans for The Fall that you're now communicating with a budgie?
Well, if you think humanity has spent a good deal of time communicating with budgerigars, hasn't it?
That's true.
And it's always... We always met them talk in our language. It's like when English people go abroad. I think you should make the effort and talk as budgerigars sometimes. Ben Jones has arrived next door.
He's wearing green today.
Green hooded
it's
top,
bright.
looking like one of the merry men from Sherwood Forest.
He's embracing this season's new colour.
I think
he really is.
Definitely, it works.
Yeah.
Is green in? I didn't know that.
No, green's not in, but that's okay, Ben. Don't worry. You still look awesome.
Honestly, if Ben went to a snooker hall this afternoon, he could hide very easily by just throwing himself flat on the table. Just pull up the hood. And people would be playing and I don't know what happened to that shot. It seemed to just stop in the middle of the table. Almost like it was caught in an armpit.
Seems to be a bit of a bump.
Yeah, it wouldn't work that out. So I've been filming all week.
Oh.
Hoity! I've been filming.
What are you filming?
I'm doing a documentary about George Formby.
Oh, is that why we're not going to be here next week? Because we're going maybe up to Blackpool?
Maybe. In case you don't know who George Formby is, he was a man from the north of England who used to sing stuff like, "With me little stick of Blackpool rock." And you know what? Any of you watching on the webcam will realise I can't sing that without imitating a ukulele. It's impossible. But anyway,
we are going to be on the radio, aren't we? We're just going to be in a different studio.
That's it.
Yes. Well, next week we're going to Blackpool. So this week I've been filming. I filmed in a school where they're all learning ukulele, and I introduced them I told them about George Formby, and I said, well, I said, right, I'm going to go out the door and I'm going to come back in. I said, then we're going to film. You've got to imagine that you've never seen me before and that you're really really happy. So imagine, like, say, I'm Ant and Dec, so you're really excited. And this kid said, can we imagine you're 50 Cent? It's like a 7-year-old kid.
Good heckle, though.
No, you can't imagine that. I won't be associated with that hoodlum. And then this girl said, what about Rihanna? And I thought, hold on, I'm not taking suggestions on who you could imagine I am. And they called me, they'd obviously been told what my name was.
They called you sir?
When I walked in, they said, good morning, Frank Skinner. I said, good morning. And then a couple of kids came up to me and they said, Frank Skinner, did you ever meet George Formby? And then it says, Frank Skinner, how long have you been playing the youth? What is this? It reminded
I like the formality.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it?
It reminded me of when Jimmy Savile was on Big Brother, and they'd explained to Chantal Houghton that he used to do Jim will fix it, and she got mixed up. And after, I heard her say to someone, "Yeah, Jim will fix it," was saying that.
Yeah, my brother used to think he was called Jimmel. That was a good name.
That can't be true, can it?
Yeah, Jimmel.
Well, I'll get to.
So when do we go to Blackpool?
Hold on, I'm going to play a bit of music first, but then we can set up the whole Blackpool thing.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
And it was our studio until a minute ago, but guess who's just walked in?
Yes, Big Ben has walked in.
Yeah.
Dong. Don't you use that, Ben? Aren't you tempted to get that as a jingle? Dong.
I think it would work very well.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Or Gentle Ben, you can look at a Ben.
How come he gets?
Oh, I love that.
How come he gets to be Big Ben and I'm the man with the little one?
Well, don't blame me.
Blame.
You know who to blame.
You know who to blame.
Ray Montblanc, your best friend.
We've had some more suggestions for the. That's weird over a French backing track. So more suggestions for the midweek podcast.
Lovely.
Vanessa from Caterham, a suggestion for the midweek podcast. Quite frankly, it's all new.
Quite frankly,
I like it.
See, that's Pon.
Anne from Kidderminster said Frank's midweek Moorish.
Well, that's
Midweek
good.
Moorish?
Midweek Moorish. Although, will people imagine that's me doing extracts from Othello?
Yes, that's exactly what they'll imagine.
Because that could reduce the amount of people downloading, I think. I'm not saying that no one would download, but me going, oh, Iago! It's done all that, you know, people will think, oh, I hate it when he does that. I like that when they just mess about in the studio. I don't like it when he does the great tragic heroes. I like that. Frank Skinner's Midweek Moorish.
Good. So, look, I've got to get ready for Blackpool. When are we going to this Blackpool thing?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be live from... Well, actually, we're going to be in Preston. I'm going to Blackpool.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can come to Blackpool after, because I'm going to the George Formby convention.
Oh.
Which is 2
What
days.
should I wear?
Blackpool.
Clogs.
Blackpool this time of year.
Clogs are actually in. We won't have to...
They are in Preston, I should imagine. They've never been out.
We don't have to go on rides, do we? I hate rides.
Maybe we should discuss rides when we're up there, because we're running out of time. But I've got strong views about rides as well. Okay, well that's it from us. Do tune in to Frank Skinner's Midweek Moorish. Oh, Iago! Good day to you.
Absolute
Radio.